Radio 586 AZ Roots, music mix from the desert Southwest, making Arizona musicians and music tastes of our region more accessible to world media.
Made possible by a grant from youngsounds.org, Young Sounds of Arizona on Facebook. This radio series is part of a community outreach for Arizona musicians as well as members of Local 586.
And now, your host for this radio episode, Gabriel Bey.
Welcome, fellas. How you guys doing?
Great, man. Good to be here.
And thank you for having us on the show.
You guys recently did a concert for us. It was an awakening for me because I hadn't heard you guys. And it's nice to have you in the studio to talk about your history and to talk a little bit about your future plans. So why don't we just get started, and I'll just ask you, share a little bit about your background, and either one of you, both of you can talk. It's fine. Talk together.
I'll let Eric go first.
All right.
Harmony.
All right. Well, and thank you, Brother Gabriel Bey and Tom. Calumet was formed in 2001 by myself and Jason J.J. Mitchell, which, by the way, the name Calumet is derived from a suburban city out of Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, which is where my father lived. And so that said, we formed the group just out of our passion for funk, blues, rock, jazz, Latin, gospel music, and decided that writing music was our passion. And from there, we formed a group and began writing and recording, and there you have it.
So you guys have been doing recording original materials or covers?
Yeah, we did our first album back in 2002, shortly after we formed. And over the next few years, there was a couple more albums, and then the band went on hiatus for a few years. And then we just recently, in 2018, put the band back together and realized that time was short, and we just really had a lot to do. And we've been doing a lot of gigs, a lot of writing, ton of recording over the pandemic. Put an album out and another album's worth of singles, plus an EP. So we've been real busy over the last few years.
Wow. Well, that's wonderful. I guess we didn't do a whole lot of setup time, but I would like to listen to some of your music. So,
Sure.
You got a particular song you would like for us to hear?
So there's one or two that we would select.
Yeah, let's just go with Light It Up.
Light It Up.
If you have one of the streaming services up, you can just find it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You'll be able to find that on Spotify. Oh, okay.
Yeah, some of these we didn't press on an actual CD. They're just on the streaming services because we released them as singles. The album we did in 2020 is called Life in Transition, and that's more thematic. It has a thread that runs through it, because of the kind of the darkness of the times. We're kind of socially conscious, so we write about what's going on, and we try to make every song different than the previous one. We're not trying to have a blueprint or anything, but we have things we get into and we like to say, but we didn't press all the singles we did over the last couple years.
Well, it's difficult to have a blueprint when you only if you want to have a message. If you have a blueprint, typically you're thinking about making money. So it's nice to know.
We're too eccentric for that.
So Light It Up.
It took 100 years to get here. Might need 100 more this way. It's gonna take an evolution to clear all the hurt and pain. Setting people free is easy when you don't remove the chains. got to light it up, light it up. We got to light it up. We got to light it up, light it up. We got to light it up. Some of us will never be free as long as there's a price to pay. Some are putting off tomorrow by holding on to yesterday. We got to light it up, light it up. We got to light it up. We got to light it up, light it up. We got to light it up. We got to light it up, light it up. We got to light it up. We got to light it up, light it up. We got to light it up. We can party together. Let's get the party started. We can party together. Let's get the party started. We can party together. Let's get the party started. We can party together. Let's get the party
We're just talking, but we got to shut up just enough time to comment about that music. Light it up. Come on, tell us a little bit about your Sly and the Stone feeling.
Well, that song, of course, was written really due to social awareness, and just talking about, without getting too preachy, talking about the social ills of what's going on in the world and the country, and the rise in inequality and social injustices, and so we have a passion about speaking about some of those topics.
And that's so important to do that because, in the past, music was maestros and minstrels, and they came around, and that's how you got the news of what was going on and what was happening in life. So it's good to hear that, because a lot of music is more about what happens to your body and less about what happens to your mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is a situation, because Eric and I collaborate a lot. We like to join our tastes and our musical writing styles, and if one person starts a song and one of the other ones will finish it. It's just the kind of thing where we like to kind of blend our ideas together. And in this case, he basically had the whole structure of the song. He had the groove and the musical parts, and he had the vocals for the outro and everything all worked out, and a really cool kind of hypnotic chant. And we, kind of decided to do two versions of the song. One that was more of almost like an instrumental with a little bit of vocals, and then another one with a full-on set of lyrics. So I contributed some of that, and a little bit of musical interjections here and there with the guitar.
There's 2 versions of this song.
Well, we're still working on the DJ mix. Yeah, this is basically like the song version where there's full lyrics, verse, chorus, and stuff.
Yeah.
And the other one is more of like more of just like almost like a dance track with a chant. And we're going to eventually come out with that too, but we didn't want to put them out too close to each other.
Yeah, well, I heard the guitar work in there, so I know there was some music going on.
Oh, yeah.
So that's always good.
Well, I like to put unexpected stuff in there because, it makes it fun for us and hopefully everybody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so.
And then just wanted to ask you guys to give us a little bit of info in terms of how do people get in touch with you and maybe a little bit about what your schedule is, if you know what that might be.
Sure. Yeah, so we're all over the internet, especially on the different social media platforms, and most of them we're just at Calumet Band AZ for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we do have a website which is calumetbandaz.com. And basically, if you use any of the streaming services, we have dozens and dozens of tracks up on all those, probably 40 or 50. So you can go to Spotify, Amazon, Apple, any of the services, and you'll find our stuff up there. When we perform locally, we do a mixture of cover material and original stuff, just because that's kind of what you have to do in most places. But we have done some showcase gigs lately at the Care Center, and we've got some festivals coming up. One's in Flagstaff on June 4th.
I saw
the
that.
Hullabaloo Festival. And we play some local club dates too, which we're fun and get some people out there. So yeah, but check us out on Facebook, Calumet Band AZ, and you can see whatever our dates are coming up.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad to be able to listen to you guys and actually to hear some of your soul and your spirit concerning what you're really about as a band. And you guys have been together for how long now again?
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
And like I said before, with a little bit of a break, but we put it back together about 4 or 5 years ago to do what we really love doing.
What motivated you? Not so much the breakup, but the coming back together again.
I would definitely say that between JJ and I, we knew that time's running out, and so you just have to put your priorities in place and say what's important, and ask yourself what's important to you. We knew that music was always going to be important to us, and something that if we did not kind of recalibrate, then we would regret that. That was really the main reason.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that because quite frankly, I hadn't heard of you before, and I was glad to have you out on our International Jazz Day concert. That was a great introduction.
Sure was.
To the group, and you guys have been pretty active ever since then. So it's good to have you in my back pocket.
Absolutely. And believe me, we are very grateful to be affiliated with the union also, and everything that you guys are doing event-wise, Yeah.
Well, we got big plans, and this is all about the Phoenix sound. So why don't we talk a little bit, or at least listen a little bit to one of your other tunes? How about this "Save Us from Ourselves"?
Yeah.
Somebody save me from me.
I think you can probably tell what that song's about by the title. But a lot of dark stuff going down in society these days, and we just can't seem to get out of our own way.
Yeah. And in fact, E.T. was talking about that when we came in. So, all right, well, I'm going to shut my mouth, and we're going to let the music take over. Tom?
Waking up again, some try to leave. reality. Some wanna blame us, or they try to shame us, pushing all the buttons while they're pulling all the strings. No, it ain't too late to turn this thing around, 'cause the way to change the story must be found. What we're gonna do, the ship has run aground. Simple to see, we get lost in a vapor. Don't count on me, I'm just reading the papers. Down on our knees, it's not gonna save us from ourselves. No, it ain't too late to turn this thing around, 'cause the way to change the story must be found. Simple to see, we get lost in a vapor. Don't look at me, I'm just reading the papers, grinding our teeth about an illusion. Down on our knees, it's not gonna save us from ourselves. Down on our knees, it's not gonna save us from ourselves.
Welcome. Now, tell me a little bit more about Save Ourselves.
So Save Us From Ourselves is just a commentary about how people kind of go down rabbit holes with conspiracy theories and generate a whole bunch of nonsense out of nothing, and then they make society kind of have to pay for that later because of things that get played out in the streets and in life, and unfortunately, like we've been seeing for the past week, with people that are misinformed or whipped into some kind of psychotic frenzy, and then they go out and do terrible things. So it's kind of what a lot of us feel, and basically we just can't seem to get out of our way when it comes to having a civilization anymore. It's kind of like we're in decline.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate because I think we're used to a more free life. I think we were thinking it was going to get freer, but now it's
right. So the freedom is
tightening
actually
up.
what allows these people to go and do terrible things or tell a bunch of lies about somebody, online, and nobody can do anything about it, or make up, lies about an election. Anybody can just say whatever they want, and we're free to do it. And we can't seem to realize that it's not guaranteed that we're going to stay free.
No. I don't want to go into politics, but it is very obvious that this is a changed world. So hopefully your messages will get out to people, and they'll understand that we need to change the way that we think and the way that we act in order to have a better society.
Yeah, I don't think we expect anybody to listen to us as far as what to think or believe, because we're not trying to, But we at the same time we got to express ourselves, and that's kind of, for us, that's what the role of an artist is. If you're gonna say something, say something. Don't just the moon in June. That was great back in the 40s and the 50s. But I mean, since the 60s, people have had stuff to say, and so do we. I mean, it's just that's part of the.
And, I'd like to add to that. We Calumet would like to think that we are just like everyday people, as Sly Stone indicated. We talk about daily struggles, the things that us as human beings all deal with. And so, we feel a sense of obligation, to talk about those things.
Well, I'm glad that you're here, and our focus here is to try to highlight the artists here in the Valley. I like to call it the Phoenix Sound. But you guys have a particular direction that you're taking, and it's not the norm. And so I just wanted to highlight that, especially for our audience. You should check them out. Check out their music and check out their performance. I'm sure you'll enjoy every sound that you hear. Well, I think we got time to listen to one more. I'm looking at maybe This Is How It Ends.
Yeah.
You guys got any comments about that? I mean, is this your last song ever, or?
No, it's actually that we put that together in the middle of the pandemic when everything was basically falling apart and didn't seem to have any leadership that was going to get us out of it. Just seemed like there was a total breakdown, and that seeing how. Again, maybe this is a dark theme. Not all of our songs are about politics or things like that. In fact, most of them aren't. But, when you're in the middle of something like that, you can't help but observe it and want to comment on it. So it just seemed like society was falling apart, and this is how basically, civilization can end if people don't pay attention.
Yeah. Well, that was truly a critical time for us. I guess you call it COVID. So
something like that.
So, Tom, why don't you go ahead and spin it? This Is How It Ends.
When you're tired and lock the door, won't let it anymore. This is how it ends. If we fail to heed the past that kicked us in the ass, this is how it ends. There's no bottom to this floor, sinking lower evermore. This is how it ends. A conspiracy of lies has now brought on down your mind. This is how it ends. Those who want to block the light will bring an angel nigh. This is how it ends. While you say that you don't care, the thieves will take your shine. This is how it ends. When you're rotten to the core, you didn't lead us anymore. This is how it ends. There's a race to tear it down. You just can't stop now. There's a plague across the nation, affecting 33%. That's how it ends. There's a war out in the street, and our time has not come pledged. This is how it is. 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 Na 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 na.
more than that. I heard some horns. So
yeah, we try to put them on everything we do, just about everything at least.
Well, being a horn player, you know I love horns. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, we love them too.
Welcome.
Yeah. And so when you talk about your future as a band, first of all, you've come to the point where you realize that time is short and you need to do something that's true to your heart. So now that you're getting re-engaged in your music, what's the goal? What's the plan? Do you have one?
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, the plan is to create music that hopefully people like as much as we like it. So we can't control how successful it gets.
Oh,
but
we know that.
we're out there, we're promoting, we're doing what we can. But it's tough to predict that. And if you start contriving stuff with too much of your mind on, I want this to be popular, I want this to be a big hit, you're probably going to come up with something that's not necessarily what you're really all about. So we try to keep it balanced. We love hooks and pop and everything too that's catchy and makes you want to move. But for us, I think the common denominator is the groove. I mean, because we're huge funk and soul fans. That's really what the band is based on.
Hear it.
So we have elements of all kinds of music in here. Nothing's off limits because the groups that we listened to when we were growing up all had a huge palette of flavors and colors.
Yes.
P-Funk and Sly and James.
Tower Power.
So I mean, you're talking not just soul, but there was always elements of jazz and rock and all this stuff. So we continue that tradition, but we don't want to sound like anybody else.
Yeah, no. Well, you can't. You got to be yourself.
Yeah, we're not trying to relive somebody else's career.
Yeah. Well, wonderful, wonderful. I'm glad to hear that, and hopefully we can get to the point where we have you out more openly so that people can come out and just, have a better quality of life because we're providing such great music for everyone. So we're going to be taking a break here. So if you guys don't mind, just say thank you very much for being here. We'll be right back.
Financial support comes in part from Gifts and On, 12-step gift and bookstore since 1977. Southeast corner of Scottsdale and Shea, open Monday through Saturday. Gifts and On Facebook.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works.
Yuma Hotline, 928-782-2605 or aayuma.com.
Sight I fell into your eyes. You were cool and fine, you caught my eye. Not too long, we soon were intimate. But that turned out to be the beginning of the end. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Love games. Speaking of love, I believe that these brothers want to present you with something, Tom.
Well, Tom, we have brought an unopened gift for you, now an open gift for you, and expressing a token of our gratitude here. We're presenting the professional
For us?
Yeah, musicians of Arizona Union with a Calumet coffee mug.
This is unused.
It's unused, yes. Ready for you to drink your coffee out of.
We're going to put Union coffee in there?
That's right. That's right.
We'll put Rainbow Donut coffee in there. Congratulations, Tom, and thank you guys. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Appreciate you having us here.
And the music. We want to thank you for that as well. That will be a part of our library. We don't know who, when, maybe way down in the future, someone will say, oh, look, Calumet, and they'll be playing it. So anyway, thank you very much for the presentation. I don't think we've ever done anything like that, at least not while I've been sitting in this chair. So thank you again. All right.
Very welcome.
So we talked a little bit about love games, and we talked a lot about what your plans are for the future. But what we haven't talked a lot about is if you intend to mentor anyone in the Valley to help them grow as well.
I would say that we're always open for mentoring anyone who is inspired musically to do whatever they feel like they want to do. And we're here to encourage whoever is pursuant of that.
I put in my 30 years back when I had a music store and I taught thousands of people guitar.
You had a music store?
Yeah, I did. I had a music store for about 11 years.
The sidebar.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so from 2001 to about 2012, I had a music store in North Phoenix and had lots of students. And
What was the name of the store?
it was called Paradise Valley Music.
Paradise Valley Music.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just a little hole in the wall, but we
Was it on Bell
taught a
Road?
lot of lessons there. I'm sorry?
Was it on Bell Road?
It was close. It was on 32nd and Thunderbird.
And that was
Right,
also
right about there, not exactly.
Yeah.
That was also our practice.
Yeah, we used to
studio.
jam out there. You got to get the most
Early
out of what
on.
you got, you know.
Yeah, I heard
Got to have a
that.
facility.
Oh yeah, we made use out of that store. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And also, he had quite a bit of very cool vinyl. By all of our favorite musicians and bands, and plenty of instruments. So yeah, cool
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah, it sounds like a cool spot. Sorry I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we've been perusing through your music and through your life history, and of course, we want to again thank you guys for becoming a part of the union. The thing about that is we know that by participating, you'll help us reach out to other younger artists and some older, and help them to see the importance of community and how we can begin to build a bigger community if we all work together. So, with that being said, what do we have next?
Be the bigger man.
I knew that was next. I just thinking about being bigger. You know? Be the bigger man. Thank you, Tom.
Well, I refuse to let the demons of the world get the best of me. 'Cause life's too short to live in misery. There's a whole lot of issues going on, but the same issues gonna keep us against the wall. What did the people of the flower generation have to say? It's a thin line between love and hate. Let me give you to the brand new revelation. I'll be the bigger man. Well, be the bigger man. Oh yeah. We've been conditioned to act, think, and talk a certain way, but reality we Let me hear you to a brand new revelation. Let me hear you to a brand new revelation. Let me hear you to a brand new revelation. Be the bigger man.
Be the bigger bro.
Be the bigger man.
Be the bigger bro, man.
Either one works. That's right.
I have to share with the audience, we always have so much side conversation during the music. It's so easy to get carried away, but that's when all of the real jewels actually seem to come out. And I'm sorry, everyone, you don't get to hear it all. But here we are with Calumet, and we just want to thank them again for being in here and talk about how wonderful it is to be performing in the Valley. Now, you guys mentioned earlier that you're going up in Flagstaff. Tell me about that concert. What do you know about that?
It looks like it's a kind of a yearly festival, a pretty big festival in downtown Flagstaff. Looks like a lot of people attend it every year. We just kind of found out about it when we were invited to participate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a multi-band lineup, and we are playing from 6:15 to 7:30, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's kind of a nice spot, and it's in Wheeler Park, downtown Flagstaff. We hope some people will come out.
You guys had a pretty nice headline on that flyer too. It was, there's a headliner, and then there's you.
Right.
I was like, oh, and bigger print than the cats behind you.
Yeah, we love playing festivals. Obviously, that's a chance to get in front of a lot of people, and it's great to be on a big stage. So we really get to cut loose.
That's also a college town as well. So we understand. College kids love groove music and whatnot, and so we're definitely excited, man, to be playing for them.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And so that's up in Flag. What do you have coming down our way? The summertime's coming. You guys got any get out of the heat plans?
We've got a couple of bar and nightclub kind of things coming up. And then we've got some private stuff too later in the year. But yeah, right now, our schedule kind of tightens up a little bit during the summer, like it does for most people.
Yeah.
So we don't have a lot coming up.
Doing Kashmir? Did I see your name over there?
We haven't played there in a while. Yeah, we did a run there for a couple years and did play there a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, time to knock on that door again. They're inside. So
right. We're actually hoping, for more festival kind of situations where you get even maximum more exposure and more looks.
Well, good. Well, you've come to the right place.
Sounds good, man. We're excited.
Yeah. Well, okay. So listen, we got time for at least a couple more tunes. I had a hard time with "Be the Bigger Man," which I was going to be the bigger bro, because.
Whatever floats your boat, dude.
Yeah. Well, now it turns out I ain't your brother. So.
But you are.
Thank you, Tom.
You say it's your brother. How you gonna play that way? I say it ain't the way. You say it's your brother. You gotta feel that way. You say it's your brother. You say it's your brother.
And the knobs are turned, and we are back. Thank you so much, Tom. You're such a wonderful spirit. So glad to be here with you, my friend. We were talking offline as usual, and we talked a little bit about recording here in the Valley. And obviously, Calumet has a lot of music online for streaming, but we were talking about more music coming. So you guys want to give us the skinny and who you work with and that sort of thing?
Yeah. So we try to make a point to record as regularly as possible, try to be as productive as possible. And we're blessed to have about 3 sources to record with, and in terms of studio engineering or engineers. John Herrera, who's a drummer for Turning Point, famous band Turning Point, who is the owner of Clamsville Studios. And we did several recordings there and still recording ongoing with him, in addition to a couple of guys in our group who are studio engineers as well. One being our bassist Josh Pryor, and our main bassist Chris Basshead Starks, all of which help out in our efforts to keep this recording thing going. Yeah.
So you guys got all the engineering stuff, but all the creative juices flow between the two of you. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I think we're just the two guys that are motivated and animated enough to do it. Some of the other guys are very creative and very talented, but maybe time is just tight.
Wow. Well, okay. So how long is this Sun tune? Because I don't want to miss this. So I guess we're gonna play it, but I guess it's gonna be take us out. So we'll come back. Okay, all right then, Tom, let's hear Sun. I wasn't going to say anything. I'm listening. You know, I'm attracted to brass wind, and definitely flugelhorns and trumpets are like my forte. So love to listen to them and encourage all of you to learn how to play one. So, hey, fellas, tell me more about your bass player, your writing, and...
So I'll interject here. Chris Basshead Starks is also another creative force in the band. He was a part of Calumet very early on in the early stages of the band, and collaborated on a lot of the tunes on our first album, Retro Energy. Had stepped away from the group and is now back as our main bassist. And what I'm most proud of, Gabe, to be honest with you, is that our band now is comprised of its original members, aside from the Jason Mitchell's son, Julian Mitchell, who is now our main drummer. Wow. But everyone else in the group, you know, is an original member.
Wow. Yeah, we've kind of taken on a form which is more of like a collective in some ways, because we know multiple people that are great and we want them in the band. Like we still work with Josh Pryor, who's also our bass player. Yes. He you know, has a different role in the band now than a few years ago, but he's recorded and produced some of our songs at his home studio, and we love those, and he still performs with us. So yeah, we're just lucky to be kind of deep in talent.
Yes.
You guys, you can tell you've got years of history here in town, and definitely a big pool of artists who not only you can call on, but actually enjoy working with you. So that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, we're blessed to just, you know, be in the company of good people in general, man.
Yeah, I also want to give a mention to our percussionist, Ian White, big part of our sound. Yeah, we love what he brings. And also our horn players. We work with several, but there's Marvin Scott and Jeff Jones.
Yes. Larry Brody as well.
You guys, like I said, you guys got a deep bench, so that's nice to hear. It's nice to hear your music, and you know, I'm going to tell you, I'm wishing you success in the future, and hope that we can play a very big role in your growth and exposure here in the Valley. So
we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for the
we
opportunity.
love you. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Adios.
AA made all the difference in my life. I noticed that most of the goals I had as a kid were slipping by. I didn't feel like the person I hoped to be. After all those years of drinking, I really didn't know myself. When I was out there drinking, I was always looking for the next great party to make me feel all right. With AA, I found a better way of life, and I feel good in my everyday life, even without a drink in my hand. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works.
Yuma Hotline, 928-782-2605 or aayuma.com.